Yeah, pretty much, Stuart. I mean, I took this Concord stuff to check the game out. I checked the game out. Not for me. Yep. That's it. So, yeah. Why am I not getting any sound? Are you guys getting sound? Oh, my cat messed up my speakers. Oh God, I'm not watching this again. No.
With the wind and sand you've endured here, did you reach the forgotten kingdom at the end of the land? Did you find the clash of stones and the fall of Tiger's acolyte? If you shut your ears and heed only your inner murmur, I fear the more you yearn for flawless endings, the further you'll stray from the path. Rats and cats, neither grasped their destiny, and yet neither admitted it. Listen closely, young one. Their complaints ride upon the wind.
Cardex says, holy ish, that was a brutal sponsorship for Concord? It was a lot worse for you guys than it was for me. Concord's fine. It's just not good. It's not great, but I mean, it's fine. Like I've had a good time playing with Dan. I mean, the game runs fine. It shoots fine. Like y'all were having a lot harder time than I was. But yeah, no, it was, you know, it's the genre needs much more than fine. Concord is fine. That's how that works. Like that's all it comes down to. That's all it comes down to. Concord is fine, but it needed to be much more than fine to be successful. Like, that's it.
No wind wrought such destruction here. The Samadhi wind brought only malice here.
It's not bad. It's not terrible. It doesn't. It's not unoptimized. The shooting doesn't suck. Like it's not bad.
White in fear quivered. A wicked Yaogwai of fierce might followed a discerning master. It was his blessing, but also became his curse.
Dang.
They say Yaogwais prey on men, yet men prey on men too, only more ruthlessly. A fair trade in that tiny well? How does it differ from the trades out in the world?
Oh. There we go. I just turned off the overlay, Barry, because you weren't here.
On a white deer or a green bull, the celestial courtiers mount. On a cyan lion or a white elephant, the bodhisattvas ride. This great beetle, too, could be someone's mount.
Everybody was Wukong fighting, Sako Puppet? Sir. Okay. Let's do it. Sith Anakin. In some ways, yeah, I'd agree with you. Yeah. I mean, the game industry has become so saturated with fine that there is certainly an argument that to be successful, you need to shoot for more than fine. And interestingly enough, that may be a lesson that Sony is learning with Concord. That may be the exact lesson that Sony learns with Concord, is that fine isn't good enough. And considering that game has been in development for as long as it has, that's going to be a very hard pill to swallow. Yep. But we'll see. Is there a dude chilling? What is that dude doing? Just... Your ears are droopy. He looks like a baby fat guy. The hell? Okay. baby Buddha. Oh, don't do that. Okay. Okay. Have I played around with any builds in this game? Not really. I haven't really gotten enough stuff to really do builds. Also, I just realized, where is like that medallion thing? Aren't I supposed to be able to choose or something? This. How do we like do this stuff? Hold to awaken. Okay. Dunk. Time for some monkey business? Yeah, buddy. You know it. The monkiest of business. Are you going to play Visions of Mana when it comes out? Yeah, we're actually taking a look at it next week. Yep. They pinged me on Visions of Mana, and I said, you know what? Sure, let's do it. So we're at least going to check it out. I don't know if it's going to grab me, but we're going to check it out. We will see. Last game I said that about was Knock on the Coffin Lid. We'll see how it goes. Okay. Yeah, the staff makes marks in the snow when you move around too, which is awesome. The snow and the terrain deformation with that is pretty fantastic. Will we see more Knock on the Coffin Lid? Maybe. I mean, I've got more to do in it, but I'm just, you know, kind of moved on to other stuff for now, but I could absolutely go back and keep playing it. I've been loving my time in it. How was Concord? I'd say overall, as somebody who wants that next step, it's disappointing. I think is probably the key word. Yeah. The fourth move of light attack combo and mobile staff spin can stir up a whirlwind of sand. But yeah, I mean, I would call. Funny enough, I feel very similar. No. Well, I need to make sure I say it right because it's not exactly how. I was gonna say I feel similar to Redfall, but there's no question that the state of Concord is far better than Redfall was. So, but the thing that was frustrating for it was seeing just kind of like a lack of connection to what I feel like the players like, which I feel like with Redfall, they had a company called Arcane Austin, which has made amazing games, make this like super safe co-op multiplayer game, and you know it just fell apart completely because it was a super safe option, not even good execution. And it just fell apart completely. So I like with Concord, there's similarities there, where I feel like with Concord, there are fundamental issues with the design. There are fundamental issues with how safe it is and the type of game it is. But with Concord, the implementation is great. Like with Concord, the implementation is good. Like the company did a fine job making it. You know, like, which is different than Redfall. I will say that is a very different thing than Redfall. But in the same vein, it's like with Concord, it's so safe that it's almost sad. Because first, it's using a buy-to-play model, which I prefer, and I don't think the game is good enough design-wise to carry it. And second, it's kind of disappointing to think that they took all of this talent that is Firewalk Studio and that they made something really good that is like fundamentally flawed. I feel like I'm kind of sad because I feel like what if we had put that team on something that was innovative and new, and that they really had a chance to show their dev chops on something like interesting, innovative, and unique. And it's like instead they kind of had to put all of their time and resources into this product that, frankly, in a lot of ways, shows a lack of understanding about the state of the industry currently. And that stinks. That's unfortunate. Like those last two parts of it are what makes me kind of sad about Concord. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. But we'll see. Shanok says, but they chose to make Concord? Yeah, and I mean, I think they got bought, actually. I think they were bought shortly after they started making Concord, or I think they were bought early and then went in from there, but... And to be fair, I mean, for all we know, maybe Concord is exactly how Firewalk wanted it. You know, in which case they're just as much to blame as everyone else in this situation. But yeah, that's kind of the whole thing I feel about Concord. It's just a little disappointing. It's disappointing to see that many resources poured into something that I feel is just not what gamers want right now. It's just not what they want. Yeah. And it sucks. Because obviously the dev team is very talented. What is going on? I'm so confused. Ow! He's gonna hang up on here on my pole. What you gonna do about it? I'm gonna hit you with this stick. I'm gonna do it. I'm doing it. Ow! Ow! Hey! Rude. Oh. Cool. Goes blocking his health bar? I am. Yeah, G. Coley, that's pretty much a sum up of what I was saying. Yeah. Pretty much. Feel the same way. This move is so funny, dude. I love it. On a side note, this game has been doing so well that PS5s are selling out in China. Oh my lord. Wow. First time I've heard that. Sir, this is a Wendy's! Ow! Sir, can you please come over here? Sir. 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 Sir? Thank you. Oh, I'm so sad right now. Nope. I don't know about this, chat. I don't know about this. Did you see that Avowed will be 30 FPS on console? I saw exactly what they said, Mr. Pocket Jams. And sir, that is not what they said. But I will say I heard one of the things that Avowed, one of the Avowed devs said, and it made me cringe so hard that I think I broke a bone at the tender age of 40. Yeah. No, what they said in an interview is that on consoles, they are shooting for a 30 FPS minimum, which sucks. But then the thing that made me cringe harder than almost anything I've heard in game dev for the last decade is when the guy in the interview then followed up with, as a single player game, players don't need more than 30 frames per second. Sir? That was, yeah, I don't remember what the exact comment was, but it was basically, hold on. Does anyone have the exact quote? I want to know the exact quote. That's some Nani stuff right there. It is. Here we go. Obsidian art director Matt Hansen has echoed similar statements in the Iron Lords podcast, stating that the team was, quote, targeting 30 frames per second, unquote, from an early stage, adding that, quote, you don't necessarily need 60 frames for a first-person single-player game. No, that's not it, dude. That is, you know what that shows me? And this is going to be a little cold, but it's true. You know what that shows me? That shows me that guy doesn't play video games. That's what that shows me. That shows me that the guy that said that, he doesn't play video games. Because if he did, then he'd know how dumb that comment sounds. And I don't use the word dumb often, but I will in this particular case, because I will say that it is like, this is directly related to the industry that you're doing, and to say that kind of thing is like, here's the problem. By being in a position where you can make decisions on how a game will look to the players that play it, and to show us the level of information you have in making that decision is incredibly concerning. It is concerning to me as an Obsidian fan that people that think that way are in charge of the decision-making process on how to prioritize optimization. Because I will tell you this, I would rather play a game at 60 frames per second than one that looks pretty. And there are a lot of people that feel the way I do. Like a lot. And the problem is, for a lot of people, 30 FPS is nearly unplayable. Especially these days. On their nice $500 consoles. Like 60 is a minimum, not a goal. 30 is not a goal. 60 is the goal. 60 is the minimum. So for them to say 30 is the minimum, like that shows me like, I don't get it, man. That's not like, no, it's 2024, dude. Like, no, it needs to be 60 with uncapped options that work. That's where we are. That's who you're competing with, most importantly. When you ask for our money, you are competing with companies that are far exceeding what you are providing, to put it bluntly. Like, that's not cool. That's not cool. That's not okay. That needs to be dealt with. So yeah, I really hope that they clarify those statements, because that is so concerning to hear, dude. Like, that is, ugh. Yeah. And Avowed needs, for the record, as somebody who loves Obsidian and who really wants Avowed to do well, that is the opposite of the kind of PR that project needs, which is just like, that is just so much unnecessary. Oh my Lord. It hurts. It hurts me a little bit. It hurts me a little bit. Because I do love me some Obsidian. They're a great company. So yeah, that's unfortunate. Shroud gave Wukong an 8.5 after 35 hours. Nice, especially considering that this isn't normally the kind of game that Shroud plays. Very cool. Glad he enjoyed it. Oh, hold on. Dunk. Dunk. I've got a big head. Woo! Ravik says, I don't know. I'm fine playing games at 30. I wish I was you. I genuinely wish that I wish that I could play 30 frames per second and not have it affect me on a visceral level. I wish that I was that. I'm not like that anymore. Like, seriously, I played so many games at 60 plus frames per second that if it's 30, it sticks out. Like, I have a hard time playing older games, dude. And that sucks. I don't like it. I wish I could just be happy with 30. But I think I've played so many games at higher performance that it's like done something to my brain, and like it just doesn't under any, even if it's like 45. So, do you play at 4K? No, I don't. One of the reasons I don't play at 4K is because of how much I prioritize frame rate over graphics. That is one of the very big reasons I don't stream at 4K. It's because I'm the kind of person that strongly prioritizes performance over graphics fidelity. So yeah, I that's just how I work. Until you're telling me 4K is going to run buttery smooth at everything I play at 144, I'm not really that interested. Anyway, yeah. I will wait. I will patiently wait. What resolution did I play at? Normally 1440. I bounce between 1080 and 1440 depending on the project and if my capture card is having issues. Is there anything else we can do up here? I feel like I missed something up here. Can we do anything with this door? Maybe we can go up on the side or something? This is not it doesn't feel like a dead end. Yeah, 1440, 144 is my sweet spot. 1440, 144 with G-Sync on. And if my game's running at that, I'm a very happy camper. That's my sweet spot. That is where I want to be with every game if I had an option. Yep. And G-Sync makes a huge difference. If you have not seen G-Sync on a good monitor, it makes a very big difference. I'm not blown away by a lot of stuff, but that's one of them. Lil Nachito says G-strings do make a huge difference. Not what I said. Not what I said. But you're not wrong. That is, I mean, that is true. But it's not what we're talking about. I'm gonna go back here. What monitors do I use? ViewSonic Elite for my main monitor, and then I use Lenovo Curve panels for my 3 side monitors. What does VSync mean? VSync is locking your monitor and game refresh rates together. It's syncing them. G-Sync is an NVIDIA specific tech that is specific to some monitors that is a really it adds a lot to the fidelity and most importantly, like the transition between frames. It's having G-Sync on and off is the equivalent of having things for me have a go from like a discernible to nearly indiscernible frame rate. Yeah. DOS 2, yes, but I only run it at 144 primarily. Yeah, it syncs it to the GPU output, which is it's a different technology. Yeah. Oh, go to the gate and make a hard left. Okay, thank you. I've never used the AMD version of G-Sync. No. These days, I think I'm going to have to start, like, yeah, we're going to have to poke around a little bit. There's a lot of interesting tech coming out in the next little bit. Really? Sure. Skadoosh. Here I am. Rock you like a monka king. Mm-hmm. FreeSync's decent? Nice. Okay. We have to try it down the road. The next generations are going to be interesting for that tech. I think we're good here. Oh. Do you think that the implementation of tech like DLSS and AMD's equivalent is giving some developers crunch to not optimize their games as well? Yes and no. I mean, I think that it would be, in terms of prioritization, there might be something there, but you also have to keep in mind that a lot of that stuff is only available in the top end cards. So they still need to optimize for those that can't necessarily use the latest gens of the tech. But of course, just like a lot of times in history, when new technology comes out to offer like a big leap in terms of what you can do and how you can develop it, devs are always going to take advantage of that stuff, as they have been. But you know, how far you go with that is the difference between a good dev and a not so great dev. You know, so it's going to be very subjective and per dev. But just like every tech that makes that stuff different, you know, tech devs use in different ways. So, yeah. And I think DLSS is no different. What do you think about the fact that back in the day you could look into mirrors in games and see yourself, and now you need to have ray tracing to have the same effect? I think that it was a lot easier to reflect basic images back in the day, is what I think. Yeah. I think I've heard that a lot, and I think that one of the reasons it's not just like super easy to turn on reflections in games is because you're dealing with a whole lot of extra stuff these days, not just duplicating a model. You know, it's very, very different. So It seems easy, right? It seems easy, but it's not at all. You're talking about like all of the reflected light, all of the stuff that was built on the scene in The Fly. How are you going to duplicate that and switch it to a different perspective? Are you going to re-render it? How are you going to render it from a different perspective? How is that going to affect system resources? So there's like all of these little things that go into it. I mean, there's a reason that for the longest time in Tarkov, you couldn't even use a scope properly because they had to re-render the scene just to zoom it in. So, you know, like it's not as quite as cut and dry as people think for that kind of stuff. Yeah. Yeah. Of course, it's easy in basic stuff, which is why you still see it every so often, but it's not like a built-in thing. Yeah. Also, some older engines were much better at doing that kind of thing than newer engines are. It's still the same in EFT? Well, there you go. What do I think of this game? Overall, I'm having a great time with it.